going to be talking about how to measure for your drapes and curtains and making sure that you're choosing the right width as well as the right length. So if you purchased a house because you love the tall ceilings, you want to make sure that when you install your drapes and your curtains, that doesn't counteract that, because if you choose the wrong height, you may make the room look smaller than it truly is. So for our curtains, what we've done is we wanted to make sure that we accentuate the height of the room. I think we have normal size ceilings are about 13 feet, and we wanted to make sure that we capture the height of the room. So what we've done is to put the curtain rods as high up as we possibly could so that it made the room appear larger than what it was. In addition to that, we wanted to make sure that the length matched. I did some DIY curtains prior to purchasing professionally made curtains from blinds.com, and let me tell you, it turned out terrible because I didn't know that there were rules when it came to curtains. And while there aren't a lot of home decor rules you should follow, curtain lengths and widths are definitely important because they really do make the foundation of a room. So when I did my DIY curtains, I didn't know that you should go either to the bottom of the molding or down to the floor. What I did was I actually went from the middle of the wall, and that's actually bad because it makes the room look smaller than it truly is. So what you want to do is when you measure for the height of the drapes and the curtains, you want to make sure that wherever your rods are, which should be typically at the highest point of the ceiling, because really when you're looking at curtains and drapes, when people look at them, they look at the height of the room as where the rods are. And I know that sounds crazy because your ceiling's where your ceiling is, but the rods typically are where people's eyes are drawn. So I would put them at the highest point, even if it's about a feet or 2 feet above it. That's where I would put your rod. And then you should decide whether or not your curtains will hit the bottom of the molding, not in the middle, but the bottom of the molding, or to the floor. And when you are measuring for the height and you're going to the floor, you can either have the curtains just hit the floor perfectly, so it looks very even to the floor and it's been tailored to the room, or you can have it break. And what that means is when you break it, it kind of puddles to the floor just a tad. And puddling is actually a separate type of length where it puddles basically and makes this huge statement to the room. But for a bedroom, typically, I would say it should either be tailored to hit to the floor, or it should break or sweep on the floor. Let's talk about the width of your curtains and your drapes. So when you're measuring for your curtains and your drapes, the most important part is to ensure that when you open the drapes, you can see out to the window, and the window is not covered at all. That is the purpose of windows, right? Is to ensure that light flows through. More oftentimes than not, what people will do is they'll put curtain rods smack where the molding is, and then when you open the window curtains, you can't really push it back and stack it back so that you can see all of the window. So the important thing is to ensure that you can stack back the curtains, and what that means is you can actually pull back and actually see the entire window.
It's easy to calculate how far onto the wall to mount your rod. Step 1 is to measure the width from the outside left to the outside right of your window frame. Secondly, take that measurement and figure out what 25% of that is. And then third, take that number and then divide that number in half. That number is the distance from the outer edge of the molding around your window frame to mount your drapery hardware.
When you're measuring for the width of your curtains, it's really easy on blinds.com because they actually do include the fullness for you. So all you have to do is provide them the measurement of the window coverage you want. So in this example, I have a split draw drapes, and basically what that means is, again, it's split into two, and so all I had to do was provide the measurements of what I want covered. So it's really easy. To give your room that professional look, you must make sure that you are measuring for the right return size. The return is basically the side part of your curtains to make sure that you can cover the light coming in from the sides of the windows. So the return measurement is from where you have your rod hung all the way back to the window. And that allows you to have the right measurement of fabric to cover the sides of the windows. The way that they are hooked on is with an eyelet, and as you can see, there's a hook on the very right, and there is actually an eyelet that's holding it.